Notre Dame has picked up two new receiver commitments in the month of February. We're going to talk about it with Tim Hyde, and I am Mike Singer. We're going to go first, Tim, to Elijah Burrus, the son of former he was at the New York Giants and Pittsburgh Steelers, receiver Plexico Burress. As a Miami Dolphins fan, I love Plexico Burress for that touchdown catch that he had to knock off Tim Hyde's Patriots. To allow the Dolphins to be the only fully unbeaten team. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Elijah Burrus. 6 foot, 170 pounds, DePaul Catholic. We love, the big New Jersey Catholic League ball, in the Garden State. So Burrus, Tim, a player who really just popped up on the scene in January. He picked up an offer from Duke in October, and then just really, I think Notre Dame was offer number 4. Like all of the offers started coming in January. So he gets his offer from Notre Dame, sets up a visit for January 20th, that junior day, and then commits to the Fighting Irish on the 10th. So we're going to pop on his tape. Tim, this is a sleeper for the class. I really like him. I'm excited to see what you think about him.
No, I agree. It's people obviously always just run to the ranking and say, oh man, are they settling and whatnot? But then you watch him and you're like, this is a hell of a football player. He's really good. And I kind of like him. And obviously with Terry coming aboard, you got a new wide receiver coach, correct? It's kind of like last year with Joe Rudolph coming aboard. What's the first thing Joe did? Boom, went and got Anthony Knapp, a guy had been recruiting. The same thing's happening with Brown, the wide receiver coach, going after some new guys that he knows about, being out there at Wisconsin, obviously Cincinnati for a while, but good looking football player. You watch him, we talked earlier about, some blue chip stuff and how Notre Dame's got a bunch of 3-stars in this class, but there's a bunch of these guys that are kind of get big bumps once the evaluations keep coming. I mean, look at that catch right there.
Yeah.
And then the league he plays in, Mike, we talk about
Bergen Catholic on the screen just there. That's a really good team.
We talk about the Jersey Catholics, the Cincinnati Catholics, the Trinity League in SoCal. These are very good football leagues, very good football recruiting areas for Notre Dame. So I like him. When I first watched his film, I'm like, it's the same thing. Man, what is there something others don't see or whatnot? Or people slip through the cracks at times. They just do. But where he's coming from, I like him. He's a lot faster than I thought. He's just, look at that. He's just a smooth looking, natural wide receiver that could catch, could run. He's a hell of a pickup. And people are disappointed and whatnot. I like him. And I know I posted on the message board, people were like, what's your comments? I'm like, I like the guy. I don't see nothing wrong with taking him because they're still recruiting some really good wide receivers. He could play at Notre Dame. There's no doubt about that.
The slipping through the cracks thing is so interesting because it's not like he's John Smith from, Wyoming. This is Plexico Burrus' son, like a darn good NFL receiver. It's not like this kid's playing in some, low-level league. I love this New Jersey Catholic League. This is big time. You got like 17 of the Campanelli brothers, in that state. I'm joking. There's not 17, but Vito Campanelli at Bergen, there's a Campanelli that's been in the NFL for a while, and then the Campanelli at DePaul Catholic. So he's coached well, the lineage. I love him on tape. He's just like, Tim, so many of these receivers were like, oh, he's a field guy, he's a slot guy, he's a boundary guy. He is just a receiver. He is just a darn good. He's a route running technician. He had told Kyle Kelly that he ran I think it was like a 4.5 or a 4.6 or something at Penn State last summer. So the speed is pretty good, like just all around. The size is good. He's probably 5'11", 6 foot. All around, he's one of my favorite players in this class, just like overall. Just like I love watching his tape.
Well, just the way he looks. He's got a body. He's got all the traits. When you watch him, he looks like an older, very confident football player. Just his mannerisms on film, the way he moves. He's a smooth looking dude. So people are a little upset or we lost this guy and that guy or whatever. He could play. I truly believe that. Yeah. So he's really nice and just keeps going back to, you just said it, very well coached. He's coming from excellent football, excellent coaches in that league. So he's going to come to Notre Dame and learning how to work, knowing how to work, watch film, practice habits. Those, it's just like getting Jaden Greathouse a year ago. Those things do matter when you go to a place like Notre Dame.
And then Sean Terry from Southern Ohio committed to Notre Dame. 5'10", is listed at 165 pounds, another 3-star, but he had a much more of a robust offer list, Tim. Michigan, USC, Penn State, Oregon. Notre Dame's really where he wanted to go. He got the offer while on campus for that January 20th junior day. Basically wanted to commit pretty soon after that. And here we are announcing his commitments just this past Sunday, February 18th. So his film, I think, had Notre Dame fans more excited about him, despite him being a 3-star, just because his film is just crazy. His ball might not be very good. I don't know Southern Ohio football, where he's playing at the tip of Ohio on the south part of the state, but he's got speed for days, and he's also a lot of fun to watch.
I love someone, actually right here in the comments is talking about Peter Warwick. Peter Warwick's one of my favorite players. So I don't know if he's Peter Warwick. If he's half of Peter Warwick, Notre Dame got a great wide receiver. But yeah, you watch his film and it's like a video game. It's like he's playing pinball out there. He's bouncing all over the place. God, Mike, since you and I have been doing this for a couple of years, I'm like, who's catching the bubble, right? Who's catching the bubble, make a little juke move and go. This guy does this 6,200 times on this film. So yeah, who knows about the film and whatnot? It's his ability. The fact that he can run, cut, plant, accelerate. Yeah, this kid's got a lot of skills. I don't care if he plays in the lowest level, the highest level, 6-man football, 3-on-3 on the court. He's got skills.
Yeah.
He's got ball skills. And those are, there's some years that Notre Dame just signs certain types of wide receivers and whatnot that are going to catch, you always know I like to say the curls and the outs and things of that nature. But man, you put on playoff football, you put on big time, and it's just that dude that could catch the hitch, plant and go. Notre Dame has not had those dudes in a long time. And I think he brings a skill set that really hasn't been. We saw it this year with Faison. Faison kind of started to have that as a guy that could run by people, be a little gadget type guy. So really excited about him. Once again, a new offer, new wide receiver coach. He was on him when he was at Wisconsin, correct? So had film on him, evaluated him, gets hired. Notre Dame starts getting into recruiting for 2025, and boom, you got 2 new offers, 2 commits that were not on the board 8 weeks ago. Heck, weren't even on the board Mike Pot of Gold Day.
Right.
We'll get into that down the road when that comes next month. So a constant evaluation from this coaching staff.
Yeah, ton of fun. Love watching Sean Terry's tape. And I think, again, 2 really good commits for Notre Dame to start the class. And then I do like Notre Dame to land Jerome Bettis. I still like where the Irish are at for Derek Meadows out of Las Vegas, that big-bodied receiver. They're not stopping there. I think they could end up taking up to 5. Raiden Vines-Bright has 2 visits set up to Notre Dame. He's coming, was it in March or early April? I can't remember. And then in June as well for his official. So Notre Dame could take up to the original number was 3 in a transfer is what I was told. Now it might, I don't know if they would still bring in a transfer if they had 5 high school guys, but it could be up to 5 high school receivers. We'll see. It's very much not set in stone. Very impressive receiver recruiting, I would say, so far for Mike. At least I've been impressed him.
Well, yeah. If you get 5, Mike, then you got 5. You got 3 last year. Obviously, Faison, KK Smith. We'll see him this year. What he does, great house. Then you got Thomas and Colsey are eligible for 5th years. The odds of them maybe grad transferring or moving on is probably high. Who knows? But if you take 5 and there's no transfers, which the odds of that are slim to none between the last few classes, how do you take a transfer? So that means you better make sure 6 or 7 of these dudes are ready to roll in 2025, because Notre Dame has obviously been able to, they got a great group of transfers coming in this year, but that may limit them. And that's something I'm curious. Not that he's coming on the show to talk to him and ask him about it, but it's like, what's Freeman's philosophy of just recruit? If you can get 5, take it, or do you just be like, let's take 4, leave a spot to go find a Bo Collins, leave a spot to go find, Mitchell, a speed dog out of the Sun Belt or whatnot, as a 5th-year guy moving forward. So that's an interesting conversation. I know that the staff's having of numbers, roster management as they prep for next season. Because even though it's 2024, you're always planning a year down the road with, your classes, and you're probably always talking to kids, as we know in this day and age, man. Anyone can leave at a blink of an eye now.